Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. And I guess it's a welcome back for me too. I thought I'd come on today and make a short video to explain to you why I stopped doing YouTube videos for a while there. It's been about a year. And why I've decided to come back. I missed you all, and I hope you missed me too. But to be honest, I didn't miss pounding all of those horrible true crime stories into my head day in and day out. And I've always had such a passion for true crime. I've always been so intrigued by the stories. And when I started doing YouTube, I really thought it's my thing. And I think, as far as being interested and caring, it is. But so many of you tried to warn me, and I didn't listen to the extent that I should have. So many of you were so incredible, telling me to make sure that I'm staying positive, make sure I'm meditating, make sure I'm grounding myself. And to a certain extent, I was listening, and I was, but I really didn't think that I needed it as much as I did. I didn't realize how much the stories were weighing on me. I didn't realize how much I was wearing the pain and the heaviness of the stories of the victims. I had never experienced something like that before whenever I listened to true crime stories. Um, I can say I've always felt for the victims. I've always felt for their families. But I think to the extent that every day I was forcing it into my head, every day I was online looking for the next story, looking for the updates, caring so much about the victims, the families, what they had gone through. I'm sure so many of you can understand what I'm saying. And doing it day in and day out the way I was, it really, really started to weigh heavily on me to the point where I got almost afraid to look anymore. I got to the point where I was afraid to look for updates. I did not want to find out that a child that was missing was found dead. I did not want to find out that somebody who was severely hurt ended up passing away. I didn't want to deal with it. It was too much. There were videos I did when I couldn't even get through it without crying. I remember apologizing for it and not really understanding why it was weighing so heavily on me, why it was affecting me like it was, not really understanding why I couldn't do a story and then just walk away. I think I went into it with such an attitude of, I'm covering stories, I'm putting information out there, I'm I'm doing, good with this, not realizing how much of it I was internalizing, how much I was not able to let go of, how much I was carrying with me to the point where it was affecting my sleep. It was giving me nightmares. Like I said, it was giving me anxiety even just to get online and be afraid of what I was going to read next. And it just weighed on me so much so that I said, I need a break. I need to step back. I need a breather. I'm doing this, too much. I'm doing it every day, every other day. It's one story after another. It never stops. The stories just get worse and worse and worse. This black cloud is just growing over my head, and I thought I just need a break. And I really thought that was all I needed. And when I stepped away for a day or two, and then I started to feel a little better, and then a couple more days, it was, gosh, this feels good. I'm not going online and hearing about, another child being abused, another child being murdered. The stories with the children just, they're unreal. And the way it weighed on me was just so much more than I ever expected. And as the days turned into weeks and I was feeling better and I was feeling better, I thought, oh, I can go back anytime. And then whenever I thought about going back, I'd feel anxious and nervous, and I was thinking, oh, I just need more time. I need more time. And about a month into my break, I thought, okay, it's time to go back. I think I can do this. And then I just got slammed with a brick right in the head. And not too far from where I live, a little 5-year-old boy was riding his bike across a major road with his aunt and other family members safely at a crosswalk. He had the right of way, everything. And a man who had no care for life, um, apparently had no idea that life had any value, was driving in the direction of where this child was crossing and decided that he was running late for work, I guess. From what the story says, he was high on drugs. Who knows what else? And he sped up to make the light so he wouldn't, I guess, be even later for work. And he hit and killed this little boy right in front of his family. And when I read that story, it broke my heart. I thought, no, I'm not ready to go back. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to hear any more about these children. I can't do one more story about children being killed. I can't do one more story about a mother being killed in front of her children or a mother's boyfriend killing her children. And I said, I just need to either step off and end this, or maybe I just need more time. And I was out driving one day and I drove past the place where the little boy was killed about a week after it happened. And I wanted to stop and say a prayer, and I saw that there was a beautiful memorial set up for him with photos, and people had placed toys and stuffed animals. And I said, I need to do that. I need to go get a toy. I need to go take it there. I need to say a prayer. I need to heal from this in some way. It was weighing on me so much. And I did that. I went and I purchased him a beautiful little stuffed animal, like it was going to do any good. But I did it for me. I went to the site and I thought I'd just park and get out and walk over and set down, the toy and say a prayer and walk away and just try to let it go. Not that his beautiful little life didn't matter. Of course it mattered. But so much of it, was still weighing on me from all the stories I had done. I was already carrying so much. And then here, that story just did me in. And I said it at this point, I need to learn to let go. And I'm sure so many of you probably experience the same thing. You go through, enough true crime stories to the point where you're starting to feel it and you can't let it go. And then you just have to step off and say, look, I need a break. And so I thought, well, maybe I just need a longer break, or if this isn't, enough, I just need to stop because I'm just carrying too much of it with me. And when I got there and I parked my car and I get out, a woman approached me and I said, I'm here to pay my respects and say a prayer. And she was his grandmother. And I didn't even know what to say. I just stood there and the tears just started rolling down my face. And I thought, oh my God, here I came and now I'm going to make it worse for her because I'm going to cry and then I'm going to make her cry. And then, yeah, she started crying and she said, can I tell you about him? And I said, absolutely. And I'm already tearing up just trying to tell you this story. And she started telling me all of her memories that she had of her beautiful grandson. And they were just tearing me up inside. And I'm crying, and she's crying. And the next thing I know, we're standing out on the main road holding each other, just crying our eyes out. And it tore me up. I could just feel the pain coming off of her. And when I left, I went home and I had myself another good cry and I said, I need to find out what it is about these stories about these victims that weighs so heavily on me. Why can't I disconnect? They're not me, they're not my family, but for some reason I just carry them with me like they are. And I'm sure some of you do as well. We get heavily invested in these stories. They mean a lot to us. The victims mean a lot to us. Their families mean a lot to us. Our hearts are breaking for them. But I really felt like I should have been able to let so much more of it go than I ever did. I came across something on Facebook one day that just struck me, and I thought, oh my God. It was a meme, and it just said, observe it, don't absorb it. And I know that sounds really simple and plain and common sense, but it hit me like a lead balloon that I was observing things, I was taking them in, and I was literally absorbing them into me and carrying them around. And I didn't seem to feel like I had a way not to do that. Like, just reading that struck me like, how do you do that? Can you do that? Can I hear a story about these victims and not absorb it and not carry it with me and not feel that? It just really struck me like I don't even know how to do that. And then I started thinking, you know what? Then true crime can't be for me. I cannot do this to myself. I'm going to destroy myself mentally and emotionally. I said I just need to walk away. I can't do this. If I don't even know how to observe it without absorbing it, I can't do it. And because I had stepped away from true crime for so long, even though I'm aware of some of the cases that went on, and I didn't follow them, I do want to go back and I do want to take a look at them. But the first case that I really allowed myself to go back into was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, because it wasn't involving, death and murder and all of those horrible things. Of course, it was allegations of abuse and things like that, but I had done enough research about it prior to understand what I was going into and to know that it wasn't just going to be a big black cloud over my head. And so I followed the trial and I followed, everything that had gone on, and it didn't weigh on me. I didn't carry it with me. I didn't have any of those experiences, and I was able to disconnect from it. And I said, I think I'm making progress. It's not the same as a horrible video about a child being murdered, but it's progress. And now I want to come back and I want to try to do it in a way that I'm not going to be dragging myself into negativity and trying to live there. I want to do it in a way that's healthy for me, that I can still provide information. I can still, report on interesting cases and still stay a part of the true crime community without having to step away because it's just too much. I just need to learn balance. And there are so many cases now that I am looking into that I do want to cover. The Scott Peterson hearings are coming up. They were postponed until August 11th. I definitely want to be here for that in case they grant him a new trial. Um, with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, for those of you who are interested, Amber Heard's attorneys just filed paperwork to actually have the verdict thrown out completely, not an appeal, to have it thrown out completely and requesting a new trial. That's just wow. I don't want to miss out on all of those things. I want to come back for it all. Um, Now that the Wests have been arrested, um, there's just so much coming up that I want to be a part of. I just need to be smart about it. And for so long, my son and my nephew, who are also YouTubers, they just were, pounding it into my head. You need to go back. You need to go back. You need to go back. You worked so hard. And I said, I really want to, but it's so different for them than it was for me because they have a gaming channel. They have fun on their channel. They're laughing, they're joking, they're playing games, they're having a great time. When you're a true crime creator, it's dread, it's sadness, it's, we're reporting things to you that we never wanted to actually say. They're horrible things, and we're researching them so that we can report them accurately. And we're putting so much time and effort into it, and trying to keep you updated. And we're doing all of these things, and we're like living in that space of negativity. We don't get to laugh and you know play games and hang out and have it be fun. So it was so different for me, and they really couldn't understand that. They were just like, you're a YouTuber, you've worked so hard, you need to go back. And I was saying, but the way I feel inside is more important. I can't destroy myself in order to do this on YouTube. And I was just so torn because I did want to go back, and I did, I wanted to be a part of it, but I wanted to do it in a way that I could handle it. And I think now, if I just do things differently, and it's just my channel's not just entirely true crime, and I'm doing other things that are lighter, other things that are still of interest but are easier for me, so that I'm not building another big black cloud to carry around with me. I think I think I could come back and really really do it in a way that I can handle well this time, while still being a part of the true crime community, still reporting on the cases that I want to do. So I'm going to come back slowly, carefully. I'm going to start with some stories, probably Scott Peterson. I'm probably going to jump into the Depp Heard case, what's happening with that now. And I know it's not going to be easy to avoid stories about children, but I'm going to try to take a minute before I do that, or maybe I'll start out with one or two and just see how I handle it. But I just wanted to, again, thank you all so incredibly much for sticking around. And hopefully, when I come back this time, I'm going to do it right. So, before I sign off, I just want to say that I want to wish everybody who celebrates a very happy 4th of July. And I will see you on my next video.